and slaughtered.
Now I am become death, destroyer of worlds.
-1 minute. Put on your goggles. Observers without goggles must face away from the blast.
One plane, one bomb, one city. One plane, one bomb, one city. One plane, one bomb, one city. One plane, one bomb, one city.
Fallout from atomic explosions. Every nuclear or thermonuclear bomb throws into the air a large cloud of radioactive particles. These man-made radioisotopes remain aloft for varying periods of time, but most of them eventually return to Earth. It is this return which is known as fallout. -10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Now I am become death, destroyer of worlds. Now I am become death, destroyer of worlds. One plane, one bomb, one city. One plane, one bomb, one city. One plane, one bomb, one city. One plane, one bomb, one city.
Fallout from atomic explosions. Every nuclear or thermonuclear bomb throws into the air a large cloud of radioactive particles. These man-made radioisotopes remain aloft for varying periods of time, but most of them eventually return to Earth. It is this return which is known as fallout. -10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Animals could be bred and slaughtered.
All right, so we got all 10 fingers. Guess we survived 4th of July from last week.
I sure as hell did to the best efforts.
So there's some rumors about this magic soap I heard about on TikTok. Is there something about spells or some kind of schizobabble in the label? Let me pull that up.
Yeah, so there's definitely schizobabble. Like once I start, I'll read a little bit of it, but if you heard this, you would expect this to be coming out of the mouth of some like crackhead at 2 a.m. near the bus stop. So this is like from the bottles of the Dr. Bronner's like soap guy. So apparently like his label's like it is just an absolute like have you ever seen like the memes of like the wall of runes and all that?
I don't think I've seen that meme.
Well, of like a wall of text and everything.
Okay.
Yeah, like that is the label of it. Like every square like not even square inch, like every square like nanometer of this thing is like filled with text. Like there's barely any empty space on it. It's just an eyesore.
I want to.
But
Indiana design, you
Mhm.
want a spot for your eye to rest, and there's no
Sure.
negative space.
Mm-mm. No, like Dr. Bronner does not believe in empty space at all. If there's like a little bit, it's filled up. So the text that people have been talking about though is at the bottom of the label, and it is his ABCs of morality. Um, it says first, if I'm not me, who am I? Nobody. 2. Yet, if I'm only me, what am I? Nothing. 3. If not now, when? Once more, unless constructive self, I work hard perfecting me first. Absolutely nothing can help perfect me. Exceptions none. So I'm gonna go a little bit to like where it gets like actually super crazy. So only hard work, God's law can save us. But if we teach only our clan, we're all hated then. So Himmel taught to Jesus, and I'm gonna pause there because you're gonna be wondering, Himmel taught Jesus?
Are we
Who's
talking
this
about Himmel the
Himmel guy?
hero from like
I
Fair End?
wish, I wish, because Himmel the hero. Well, he's a hero. He's a good lad, but no, this Himmel is a rabbi. Um, and this was the rabbi that started. He is associated. When was he? Yeah, he was in the first century, and he is associated with the development of the Mishnah and the Talmud. So everything horrible about modern Judaism has roots in this guy. So like all those verses those all notorious verses you read in the Talmud, yeah, thanks Hillel or yeah, did I say Himmel? Wow, see, I had anime on my mind, but like it's Hillel. So thanks to this guy for all those verses in the Bible. I had the Bible in the Talmud. And let's scroll down to yeah, let's go with number 5. Whatever unites us is greater than whatever divides us. Yes, absolutely selfishness. I'm not for me. I'm nothing but a slave, never free nor brave. And he also goes on and says, let's see here. Yeah, and Prophet Sarah, moral ABCs, all one God faith. That all one God faith is very much like an occultic phrase that you see like all over.
Is that something that's like tied to Aleister Crowley or something like that?
I'm not sure. I'll need to look into that phrase, but a lot of these cults, I hear them say that phrase or like a variation of that all one God faith phrase. It's something like that, either like all one God, like all faith. So there's always like a little like a variation of that where it kind of like it's a universalism, but they break it down into like simple words just so they can make a chant and kind of like infect your brain, because that's something about cults is like they always like make little chants to make them like little like earworms
I
and
would
all
call it
that.
memetics. That's probably another
Hmm.
good phrase. Something that sticks to your mind.
Yep. And all one God faith united the whole human race, for we're all one or none. As teach for 6,000 years the African shepherd astronomers Abraham and Israel, since the year one, listen, children, eternal Father, eternally one, exceptions, eternally none, absolutely not. And this is something else. It's like it's all babble. Like I'm not making any mistakes reading this. I am reading it word for word, and you could get that. That's in like for we're all one or none.
So, I mean,
As
this is
teach
just
for
a
6,000 year. It's all like this babble. Like the words are constructed and the word uses are very weird.
so this isn't like a body soap, right? This is like an industrial cleaner or
Yeah, like another phrase on here is full truth our God, half truth our enemy, hard work our salvation, unity our goal. It is very much like 1984 with the double good
double
and all
plus
that.
good or
Double plus good. Yeah, it reads very much like something that would come out of that book. Like this isn't something that someone would like say. It's like taking like an idea and shorten it to like the most minimum words possible. But by doing that, you take out like actual like real meaning from it. But yeah, like all of that is like cult stuff. And I looked into this Dr. Bronner guy, and his parents were in the Holocaust, of course. So uh, like every single time, yet again,
is he a real doctor like Dr. Pepper or
no.
Dr. Scholl's or Dr. Martin?
No. So he just like gave himself that title because he thought, yeah, ML, because his name is ML Brahmer. So ML adopted the honorific doctor. And he gave it because with his like German last name and his thick German accent, he thought it would sound good to sell his soap. And it says that because of like his mild scientific knowledge and thick German accent, no one argued against him just putting the doctor on his name, even though he has no degrees.
It's all fraudulent.
Yes. And on his timeline, 1945, it says that he escaped the Elgin State Insane Asylum after being institutionalized for vehemently espousing his views.
I think we see proof of his insanity written on this label of soap.
Yeah, like I said, like what he wrote on there sounds like crackhead gibberish. So like he should have been kept in that insane asylum.
But then we never would have gotten his soap.
I think we would have been better off without it.
So I was watching an Ian Carroll video, and he mentioned how Tulsi Gabbard was raised in a Hare Krishna community. So he didn't really go to detail about it. So that's why we are looking into it. So Tulsi Gabbard was raised in the Science of Identity Foundation, insular spiritual group founded in Hawaii by Chris Butler, which broke away from the traditional Hare Krishna movement. So her parents were senior disciples, and she was raised in strong Gaudiya Vaishnava Hindu-influenced traditions. So although both share roots in Gaudiya Vaishnu Hinduism and devotions to Krishna, the critical differences include the rejection of outer Hindu monasticism. Mainstream Hare Krishnas are highly visible and historically known for wearing traditional robes, which are saris and dhotis, and shaving their heads except for a tuft called the sikha, and chanting in public spaces. So he rejected these outward markers and instructed his followers not to shave their heads or wear robes and allow them to blend in seamlessly into secular Western society. Structure built around total secrecy, mainstream operates within the public open temples, listed hierarchies, and published text. So the SIF was designed from the start to be highly insular, with no formal public hierarchy and no official temples and no membership roles. Butler himself became entirely reclusive, communicating with his followers almost exclusively through intermediaries, recorded audio or video lectures. So there's absolutely authority of a single living guru in mainstream. This governance moved into a collective council or governing body commission after the founder's death in 1977. However, the functions as a personality cult centered entirely about the absolute authority of Chris Butler. So former members have reported that followers were taught Butler was Krishna's direct representative on Earth, requiring total obedience regarding major life decisions, marriages, and finances. Active political ambitions and mainstream Hare Krishnas generally avoided secular electoral politics to focus on monastic or missionary work. Conversely, that he was actively pushed his followers into political arena. So in 1976, the disciples had launched a political party called the Independence for Godly Government, running on a slate of candidates in Hawaii who deliberately hid their ties to Butler and denied affiliation with any religious group. They're highly politicalized social doctrines. While traditional Hinduism holds conservative views on lifestyle choices, Butler infused them with intensely aggressive social and political dogmas. He recorded lectures featuring a fervent, graphic condemnation of homosexuality, hostility towards Islam, and a deep skepticism of mainstream science. And the Science of Identity Foundation ran on heavily influenced several political campaigns in Hawaii over a 50-year period, evolving from a standalone third party into localized active groups and major mainstream candidates. So the group's political efforts developed through three main phases. The first phase was Independence for Godly Government Party in 1976, where Chris Butler published a pamphlet stating that the inept politicians should be removed from their seats and replaced with saintly persons. The following year, they launched its own formal political party in Hawaii called the Independence for Godly Movement. They partly ran on 14 different candidates simultaneously for federal, state, and local offices across Hawaii. The strategy was the candidates claimed the party is strictly non-sectarian and completely denied any religious affiliation. The outcome was none of the candidates won. A subsequent investigation by the Honolulu Advisor revealed that the candidates were all secret Butler devotees and Krishna followers. Now, their second thing was the anti-gay marriage campaign in the 1990s. After failing to win elections as an open third party, the members shifted towards a single issue to pressure groups, and Tulsi Gabbard's parents, Mike and Carol Gabbard, became prominent leaders in this movement. The organization, in 1991, they founded Stop Promoting Homosexuality in America. 1995, they launched an alliance for traditional marriage. In 1998, they successfully campaigned for the 1998 Hawaii constitutional amendment that gave legislature the power to reverse marriage of opposite-sex couples, effectively blocking same-sex marriage in the state. A teenage Tulsi Gabbard at that time even appeared to promotional campaign ads supporting her parents' initiative. Then mainstream candidacy. So Mike and Tulsi Gabbard, the 2000 presently by the Syphilida figures, successfully won mainstream office by running as Democrats or Republicans, relying heavily on internal networks. Mike Gabbard's campaigns hosted an anti-gay radio show called Let's Talk Straight Hawaii to build a political base, and he was elected to the Honolulu City Council, but ran a failed 2004 congressional campaign where his ties heavily surfaced, and he was elected to the Hawaii State Senate in 2006, where he continues to serve. Tulsi Gabbard's early entry in 2002 at age 21, where she ran for the Hawaii State House. According to the campaign insiders, a swarm of volunteers associated with the Butler's group descended on her district to knock on doors and plant yard signs. So getting back to Tulsi. Key details of her upbringing includes her guru. So Gabbard was described, Butler is often referred to by his followers as a Jagad guru, the Siddhat Swarma Prapanda Paramahashna as her divine teacher. Her child-lived lifestyle there. She was homeschooled by her parents and spent part of her childhood attending schools in the Philippines that were established by the organization. Investigations, including detailed reports from the Washington Post, investigated deep influence that the sect leader allegedly had over her. While critics and former members have sometimes characterized the group as a secretive cult-like offshoot, Gabbard has consistently identified as a practicing Hindu and has criticized immense inquiries into her faith as religious bigotry. So, a man is facing charges after allegedly shooting 2 people with a BB gun at a naked bike riding event in downtown Los Angeles on Saturday. It happened around 11 a.m. and at the intersection of Temple Street and North Alameda Street. So the Los Angeles police say a man dressed up in all black was riding a scooter when he fired a BB gun into a nude cyclist. The 2 victims were treated for lacerations at the scene. Further details about their conditions were not immediately available. The suspect was taken into custody and will be charged with assault with a deadly weapon as more charges are pending, according to the Los Angeles Police Department. A video from the scene showed a large turnout for the naked bike riding event. Video also appears to show a man being taken away to custody by the officers. I don't know how a BB gun is considered a lethal weapon unless Ralphie from Christmas Story is shooting the damn thing.
Yeah.
I don't think they're making them that powerful. More than likely, it's probably an airsoft gun, A Florida woman was arrested at a Cottage Hill during a traffic stop when deputies found methamphetamines in a glass pipe in her purse. When confronted, she attempted to convince the Florida Highway Patrol trooper that the illicit substance were magical healing crystals used for witchcraft. The bizarre excuse had surfaced in other notable Florida cases. So the Cottage Hill incident, the passenger, Haley Victoria McLemore, was booked on drug charges as the police found a meth pipe and crystal rocks. She attempted to pass the meth off as witchcraft rocks, according to the report covered by Coast to Coast AM. The crystal methavin case was a highly publicized previous incident where a Florida woman, literally named Crystal Methvin, was arrested at St. Augustine for actual crystal meth possession. Despite the mystical claims, there was zero peer-reviewed scientific evidence that these type of healing crystals hold any medicinal value. The friendship of 2 men in Thailand came to a tragic end when one of them murdered the other out of fear that he was a ghost. A strange case reportedly occurred last Wednesday morning when the buddies of Banjong and Wichan were starting their morning by drinking white liqueur together at the latter's home. The hours passed and the booze flowed, and the duo wound up in an undoubtedly alcohol-fueled disagreement later that afternoon. While the precise nature of the dispute is uncertain, at one point, Wichan grew suspicious that Banjong was a sinister spirit in disguise. Believing that his friend was a folkloric Thai ghost known as a Phai Pop, fearing the infamous entity's penchant for cannibalism, He grabbed a hammer and began bludgeoning Banjong, and during the attack, the misguided Ghostbuster hit his friend around 20 times with a tool-turned weapon. The cops alerted the violence unfolding at the home, arrived at the scene just to find a badly beaten Banjong, who later succumbed to his injuries at a local hospital. As for Wei Chong, Pifop fears now are the least of his concerns, that he's being promptly arrested for the gruesome attack that took his friend's life. I wonder what kind of alcohol they're drinking. I mean, I'm not familiar with Thai liqueurs, but their famous beer is known as Tiger Lager, which has a high amount of it's like formaldehyde in it. It's not too bad though. Unidentified vigilante dubbed the Batman of Lagos de Moreno has gone viral for duct taping suspected motorcycle thieves to street poles in Jalisco, Mexico. So the individual was targeted at least 5 suspects, drawing cat whiskers on their faces and writing ratero, or thief, on their foreheads, and leaving the stolen bikes nearby. The authorities are actively searching for the vigilante and treating the taped-up men as assault victims rather than proven criminals, citing the due process law. So the unusual method has sparked massive debate on social media between those supporting street justice and those opposing vigilantism. Similar viral stories have circulated recently involving residents in other countries who taped up thieves, though widely shared clips like a pair were taped in orange tape in Indonesia, which later revealed to be content creator skits or hoaxes for views and clicks. There's a Washington, D.C. Cardinal, Robert McElroy, who was removed by Monsignor Stephen Rossetti as an exorcist for the Archdiocese of Washington. The dismissal came after Rossetti posted a video claiming that probably many, if not most, of those UFO sightings were in fact demons. The Archbishop stated that these remarks, along with the priest's social media usage, gravely undermine the Church's precise teaching of the devil, demons, and exorcism. The Archdiocese also cut off all official ties with the St. Michael Center for Spiritual Renewal, a nonprofit organization headed by Rossetti, which provides spiritual healing and deliverance ministries. Following his removal, Rossetti, who is a licensed psychologist with a large social media following, issued a formal apology. The statement posted on the St. Michael Center website, he asked for forgiveness and affirmed his commitment to being obedient to the teachings of the Church. The incident sparked a national discussion about the intersection of religion, the paranormal claims, and official Church dogma. So it's kind of interesting that his diocese cut it off versus wait for the Vatican to get wind of it. Mm-hmm. A man in Indiana chopped off his penis and set it ablaze using lighters and gasoline, according to his attorney. Christopher Pettin allegedly told police that as he walked inside a garage in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and sliced off his junk with a kitchen knife. His lawyer, David Feltz, tells TMZ. Feltz said that Pettin then allegedly placed his severed penis on the floor and doused it with gasoline from a container and set it on fire using 4 lighters. Police and firefighters responded to the May 6th incident after receiving a call for a stabbing in a detached garage belonging to the property owner, the cops said. But the owners were awakened by a concerning neighbor who saw the garage burning and suddenly realized that Pettin, a family member, had disappeared. So while responding to the scene, the Fort Wayne officers bumped into him, who falsely claimed he had been stabbed by someone downtown and threatened the day before. But after that, he was rushed to the hospital and allegedly told investigators that he lied and confessed to mutilating himself. He was taken to the Allen County Jail, where he posed for a mugshot with his bond set at $10,000. Prosecutors have charged him with felony arson, and a rep for the jail said he's no longer in custody. But the Feltz said that Pettin is currently in stable condition as lawyers gather information to mount a defense. They told TMZ the allegations against the client were concerning and now looking into his mental state at the time of the alleged incident. So you got a Bigfoot story?
Yeah, so let me pull that up because it was really slow these last couple weeks in like cryptid news, but there was one that happened in California, and this is coming to us from Coast to Coast AM.
They're a great source of news besides PsyOp Anime.
Exactly. So apparently, this was posted on their site July 7th. So, a California driving her grandson to work was stunned when she spotted a peculiar-looking figure that she believes was a Sasquatch. The sighting was recently reported to the BFRO. It occurred on June 28th as witness Linda Dixon Smith was en route to Camp Chalinaki in Sierra National Forest. Nearing the road leading to the young man's summer job, she recalled, I looked over at my grandson, my eyes carried further, and I saw a figure standing in the field. Dixon Smith described the bipedal creature, which later estimated to be a staggering 8 foot tall, as well as brownish red hair that could be plainly see skin through, similar to many Sasquatch reports. She also noted that the figure reported a small head-like right on its shoulder. Small head
Where like she was
right
holding
on
a
its
baby,
shoulder.
or was like one of them like riding piggyback?
I have no idea. That's a weird description. I have no idea like what she's trying to say. Again, we got another crackhead describing things. Great. And she said it had like arms that hung past its knees. I don't know quite if I see the Sasquatch that had like arms past its knees. That's like an orangutan.
Yeah, that's
thing.
what I'm thinking too. Like a orangutan that might have got loose, but then the red hair would have given it away in the way it walks. It wouldn't be.
Yeah, well, it
think it
says
would
like
get
it's
really
brownish red hair, which is kind of like an orangutan. So yeah, it's a very orangutan-ish Bigfoot out there. Yeah, and like it says that she like doubled back to the spot after dropping off her grandson to see if she could see it again, and it was gone.
Where did she drop the grandson off? Like at his parents' house, or?
It was at his like summer job. It was like it sounded like he was working at a camp.
Oh, okay. I'm sure he's safe from the Bigfoot.
Yeah,
He's on the clock. He's okay.
he's on the clock. Bigfoot can't get you while you're employed.
Yeah. And I'm sure the company insurance will take care of him.
Bigfoot respects unions.
Oh, okay. I thought he would be a union buster. Okay, it's good to know he's on the side of the worker.
Yeah. No, it's the dogmen that are union busters because they're all evil and all that.
Okay, that makes more sense. So, I'm gonna get into a couple of UFO incidents because it's this time of year is usually when they have the Roswell UFO Festival in New Mexico. I didn't go to it this year. That's like it's a 6-hour drive to go out there, but maybe next year I'll make another appearance. But we're going to talk about some other cases that you might not be too familiar with. So we're going to get to the North Hudson Park UFO, also often called the Stonehenge incident. So it occurred in January 12th of 1975 in the North Hudson Park. Now it's renamed the James J. Braddock Park in North Bergen, New Jersey. It remains one of the area's most famous enduring mysteries. The 1975 landing event on January 12, 1975 was a local liquor store owner named George Obarski witnessed what he believed to be a landed spacecraft. Obarski recounted seeing a large glowing circular craft with bright windows hovering in the park. Small hooded figures reportedly emerged from the craft and used tool-like instruments to gather soil samples. Investigator Bud Hopkins later corroborated the evidence, saying that he was interviewed at a nearby doorman who was supposedly supported the timing of the visual accounts of the sighting and discovered physical evidence of small unexplained holes in the park's ground. So when you get physical evidence, I think they call that close encounter the second kind because there's visual evidence left behind. Unexplained holes in the park's ground. It's in valid connection because the man's name North Hudson of the 1975 incident is frequently confused with and associated with the massive Hudson Valley UFO sightings, which took place in New York between 1982 and 1986. So while the 1975 event was a direct landing and a humanoid encounter, the Hudson Valley wave involved thousands of eyewitnesses who reported massive silent V-shaped and boomerang-shaped objects.
That's something you don't hear a lot, like the boomerang or like a V-shape.
Yeah, that's usually happens when people describe the Phoenix Lights incident and the Lubbock Lights, but they try to say the Lubbock Lights were birds that were flying like ducks or whatever, migratory birds, were in the V pattern, and the oils of the feathers were reflecting the lights from the city. But I don't think the lights are that bright. Right. That's some serious bright oil. They got on their feathers.
That is, if that's going on.
I'm not buying that explanation. But the phrase Southaven UFO incident typically referred to one of two famous events, depending on whether you meant Southaven Country Park or Long Island, New York, or the city of Southaven, Mississippi. So this is the one where Joey Diaz talked about it in the Joe Rogan show, and I actually got that incident confused with the one I just talked about because it's all New York, New Jersey. You know, I didn't know there was a whole bunch of stuff happening out there. So the historical details for both occurrences outlined what took place in each location. So 1992 Southaven Park crash of Long Island, New York was the most prominent Southaven UFO historical event occurred on November 24th, 1992 at the Southaven Country Park in Shirley, Long Island. Local lore frequently refers to this event as New York's Roswell. The sighting happened at around 7 p.m. and multiple witnesses reported seeing a large glowing blue tubular or oval-shaped craft lose altitude and crash directly in the park's wooded area. The aftermath of the event was that the neighbors reportedly strange electronic interference, localized phone outages, and a massive brush fire within the park grounds. The conspiracy was that the rumors quickly spread that the Brookhaven National Laboratory, located just a few miles away, dispatched firefighters to secure the area, and then that the Men in Black blocked off the park to haul away any wreckage under tarps. While Brookhaven officially maintains that the logbooks showed no off-site emergency responses that night, the incident remains a staple of Long Island folklore. Now, the 2021 Southaven Dancing Lights of Southaven, Mississippi, if you're looking into the southern United States, was widely reported as a mass sighting event that occurred more recently in March of 2021, in the city of Southaven, Mississippi. The local residents captured cell phone footage of 10 to 13 bright multicolored orbs pulsating and dancing in a tide formation high in the night sky over Interstate 55. The explanation, unlike the 1992 crash, was that this event was quickly solved. The neighboring residents came forward to clarify that they had released a massive cluster of glowing sky lanterns during a family memorial event. The high altitude and wind patterns caused the lanterns to look like a synchronized fleet of anomalous aerial objects. So I'm kind of wondering if was that for like a funeral procession? Because I thought lanterns were released in the water, but you know.
There's sky lanterns, and I've heard of people doing it for that too.
So okay, that's
so
good.
it's like it's a both. It depends on the culture.
Okay, so I'm assuming they both come from East Asia that do that.
Yeah.
So the 1953 Kingman UFO incident, also known as the Kingman UFO crash, refers to a series of alleged extraterrestrial crash retrievals outside of Kingman, Arizona, that may ufologists rank along the Roswell in historical importance. So according to researchers and leaked documentation, up to 3 separate anomalous objects fell from the sky in May of 1953. The timeline, the witnesses, and the details surrounding the Kingman event showcase its significance. The alleged disasters and the local historians and investigators like Hare drew online 3 distinct impact sites of the area. The intact craft, the most famous account involving an oval 30-foot wide metallic craft that had a smooth forced landing in the desert sand. It suffered virtually no external structural damage. A second craft supposedly came down hard and clipped a rocky butte and crashed into adjacent small local reservoir. But third craft reportedly slammed directly into a mountainside overlooking Kingman, setting off a massive localized brush fire. The court witness, Arthur Stansel, the case file that came to public light in June of 1973, respected UFO researcher Raymond Fowler published the sworn affidavit of a retired Nevada test site engineer named Arthur Stansel, who initially used the pseudonym Fritz Werner to protect his identity. And I'm kind of getting like these, Project Paperclip vibes from hearing a name like that, Stansel claimed that in May 1953, while working on the atomic testing during Operation Upshot Knothole, which I'll probably have to make a video on that, he and a team of 40 scientists were bussed in from Indian Springs, Nevada. I know exactly where that's at. I've been there. So that's like about 58 miles northwest of Las Vegas. That's where they do a bunch of Predator drone stuff out there. Nevada to a remote desert location near Kingman, Arizona. His job was to measure the kinetic momentum of a downed aircraft to assist with further reverse engineering efforts. Stansel described the 30-foot dome-shaped ship resting in the sand, featuring an interior cabin with 2 swivel seats and advanced display instruments. The recovered entities and J-Rod. So he testified seeing a body of a deceased occupant inside a military tent at the site, and the entity was described as roughly 4 feet tall, dark complexion, wearing a silvery flight suit. He later claims from Area 51 researchers that such and former Navy pilots Bill Uhouse alleged that the entities surviving the Kingman incident, the survivors were reportedly taken to Groom Lake, Nevada, where one specific entity was nicknamed J-Rod. He allegedly lived for years and had communicated with human scientists to help reverse engineer the recovered propulsion technology. Supposedly there was radar interference theory, while many initially believed that nearby atomic bomb testing in Nevada caused the UFOs to malfunction. Local historian Hare Drew hypothesized a different culprit. So during May of 1953, a powerful experimental triangle of high-energy military radar towers were operating around Kingman, Arizona. Drew argued that the immense short bolts of microwave radiation emitted from these towers disrupted the craft's navigation systems as they flew through the area. Recent official attention that the incident remains highly relevant in modern disclosure circles. Leaked communications involving former Deputy Assistant to Secretary of Defense for Intelligence Christopher Mellon revealed that modern U.S. intelligence and defense officials continue to privately discuss the review of the 1953 Kingman crash retrievals. So there's a rumor that Doc Brown was based off of Townsend Brown in the Philadelphia experiment. And Dr. Emmett Brown was not based on a scientist from the Philadelphia experiment. Instead, Christopher Lloyd and the creators of the Back to the Future franchise drew inspiration from the character from very different historical figures. So he was saying Albert Einstein was part of the equation, and Doc's portrayal of the eccentric, wild-haired, mad scientist was deeply influenced by Albert Einstein's genius and his ability to visualize the universe. Leopold Stokowski was also the other influence. Lloyd also modeled Doc Brown's dramatic mannerisms and unique speech patterns on the famous classical music conductor Leopold Stokowski. While the Philadelphia experiment is a famous urban legend about the U.S. Navy allegedly testing electromagnetic invisibility cloak, has no real connection to the character development of Dr. Emmett Brown. He's quoted as saying, "I was always fascinated by scientists growing up, and I've read biographies of Albert Einstein. He was also able to imagine the answers of how the universe worked. In addition to Einstein, there was a classical conductor named Leopold Stokowski who made innovations in music." So after this, we'll go on break and we'll come back and sort of talk about UFOs a little bit more from what the audience have to say. And with that, instead of supporting a cult like the Hare Krishnas, you can support our tribe at Ko-fi.com/Atomic Shaman Sweat Lodge. You can gain access to our Discord and meet others that enjoy the true crime, the paranormal, cryptids, and weird news. You can also support the tribe on streamlabs.com/Atomic Shaman/tip. PayPal me /Atomic Shaman. Buymeacoffee.com/Atomic Shaman. And you can buy cryptid swag at tpublic/Atomic Shaman Trading Post. You can follow us on Twitter at Motel and Arty Park, Instagram at Atomic Shaman Sweat Lodge, and you can write us at Atomic Shaman Sweat Lodge at protonmail.com. With that, we'll be back in about 13 minutes.
Your cell phone, your wallet, your time, your ideas. No barcode, no party, no ID, no beers. Your bank card, your license, your thoughts, your fears. No SIM card, no disco, no photo, not here. Your blood, your sweat, your passions, your regrets, your profits, your time off, your fashions, your sex, your pills, your grass, your tits, your ass, your laughs, your balls. We want your soul. Your house, your home, your life, your cash, your house, your home. We want your soul. Your house, your home, your life, your cash, your house, your home. We want your soul. Tell us your habits, your fads, your fears. Give us your address, your shoe size, your years, your digits, your plans, your number, your eyes, your schedule, your desktop, your details, your life. Show us your children, your photos, your home. Here, take credit, take insurance, take a loan, get a job, get a pension, get a haircut, get a suit, playing the lottery, play football, play the field, snort some toot. We'll show you free, we'll show you food, we'll buy you dreams, throw away your blue, we'll sell you crap, we'll charge you debt. Wanna buy big guns, we'll trump and cash. Your thoughts, your emotions, your love, your dreams, your checkbook, your essence, your sweat, your screams, your security, your sobriety, your innocence, your society, yourself, your place, your distance, your space.
Go back to bed, America. Your government is in control again. Here, watch this. Shut up. You are free to do as we tell you. You are free to do as we tell you.
Galactic Alliance used their own frequency weapons to disable or neutralize 3 Atlas, so to make it inactive so they could no longer use their own technology on board to harm the planet. And that was the original intent. The plan was for 3 Atlas to send those plasma jets towards the sun, and then the sun would have coronal mass ejections, so like those big burps of solar flares going towards Earth, that would have created havoc on the planet, meaning that it would have put us into dark ages for over 6 months of time on the whole planet.
And why do they want to do that?
To create chaos, so they could invade the planet more easily. Without, that was the plan.
It was a pretext to invasion.
It was a pretext for invasion, yes. So they only had a few days to act. Those 3 solar flares that came to Earth should have been way more devastating that it happened. So what the government did was they were using HARP on that day. On November 11th, they actually used HARP to lower down the Schumann resonance of planet Earth, which would have been minimizing the actual catastrophic effects on the planet.
But so the Galactic Alliance was able to disable the ship, the mothership, but not before it could send these...
That's correct.
Okay, to Earth. And then we were able to minimize the damage through HARP.
Yes.
So you're telling me the ocean is actually the true outer space, and the idea of an ocean floor is a lie?
There was this eccentric engineer, Dr. Victor Halden, right? He was obsessed with the belief that the seabed didn't exist, that it was all a massive cover story. A few years back, he built this outrageous deep-sea vessel. We're talking about a hull crafted from some advanced pressure warping alloy tech that supposedly isn't even documented anywhere. The man was completely driven. He believed the deepest trenches weren't simply uncharted, they were deliberately concealed. So he descends into the Mariana Trench, equipped with scanners, live broadcast systems, and experimental detection gear. The further down he went, the more unnatural things became. Down there he didn't encounter fish or coral, nothing recognized by marine science. He saw drifting shapes, entities moving like smoke beneath the water. And instead of reaching a sea floor, there was no bottom at all. Just a twisting void dragging endlessly downward, and Halden didn't turn back. He pushed straight into it. When he finally came back up, he claimed this wasn't Earth anymore.
We have almost forgotten that we are in a great mortal combat. Today we are beginning either to domesticate the devil or else to deny him. The devil's definition of himself is, I am who am not. He is most powerful when he is denied. This question is worth asking. I went to church the other day to free my soul from sin. I was looking for the preacher, but the preacher wasn't in. The sexton then assured me that there'd be no use in waiting. The preacher's gone away, he said, to do some demonstrating. Well, what I want to know, I said, and I will make myself quite clear. While they're off demonstrating, who's running things down here? Who's taking care of sinners? Who's leading us in prayer? Who's feeding all the lost sheep that wander by right here? Who's baptizing babies? And another thing I said, who's looking out for sick folks and blessing all the dead? The sexton was a wise old man with a twinkle in his eye. He looked at me and scratched his head, and this was his reply. Son, what I'm going to say to you might strike you kind of odd. But since no one's here to help, put your question up to God. So I asked him all those things last night when I bent my knee in prayer. Oh Lord, I prayed, please tell me, who's running things down here? The Lord sent down an angel. It was enough to make me sob when the angel said, the devil, and he's doing a damn good job.
This is my USAS-12 full-auto shotgun.
Hi, I'm Wendy, and this is my FN FAL.
Okay, Q. What are your sins?
When I was about 13 or something, I went fishing with my dad. I caught a fish and I was really happy about it. And I just felt like I had a connection with the fish. It just felt very nice in my hands. You know, the fact that it felt like it was chosen. It was chosen for me. And so when my dad told me to throw that fish back in the water, I couldn't do it. I was a stupid little kid. So I threw a rock in the water pretending it was the fish, and I shoved the fish down my trousers. And this fish was not bigger than my dick when it's hard, but it was in there. And the fish, it got warm as we were going home. And I just remember I was getting a boner while I was going home. And my dad was speaking to me, and I tried to shift the focus away from the warm fish, because I could feel the fish kind of like shaking, dying, you know, on my dick, like it was giving me like not a blowjob, but it just felt like it was, you know, its last moments were on my dick, and it felt really special to me, even though it is weird. And then I remember getting home, quickly going to my room, and I lied down. I got naked. I remember taking my zip down, and I saw the fish covered in cum. That one moment just felt amazing to me, the warmth of the fish, and it was still kind of shaking, like its nerves were kind of going off, and it just felt so good. And I remember I didn't want to let that fish go. I couldn't let it go because I felt like I'm responsible for the fish. And so I cleaned up the cum on it, I cleaned it myself, and I'd keep it in a freezer in my room. And whenever I'd get, you know, horny or stuff, I'd use the fish to like masturbate, and I'd come all over it again and again, almost up to a week, until the fish was smelling at the house, and my dad would, you know, kind of clock on that something's going on with me, and he could tell from the smell, and he looked in my mini fridge, and he saw the fish, and I remember making up a lie, saying, "No, it's not my fish. You know, my friend gave it to me. It was like some kind of prank or whatever." And my dad kind of looking at me, disgusted, and I had to get rid of the fish, which was, you know, obviously sad. And I feel I can't, you know, it affects me because I can't speak to my dad without thinking about the fish. And what's even worse than that, I can't jack off without thinking about the fish. Porn doesn't do it for me anymore. There's no fish related stuff, nothing. I don't like the food that much. I prefer steak, medium rare. But the fish, something about it, whenever I jack off, I kind of feel the fish, like, I'll never forget that feeling of it dying on my dick while I cummed on it. So that's it, yeah. That's the story. Hello?
Do you miss that old school vibe? MadScribe magazine is dedicated to reviving the classic gaming and pop culture experience. Inside every issue, you'll find exclusive interviews with some of the biggest names in tabletop gaming. There are game reviews, adventures, indie comics, cosplay pinups, short stories, and a whole lot of attitude. It's like a love letter to your weird, geeky youth. Grab a copy in print or PDF wherever books are sold. MadScribe magazine, old school heart, new school hustle. With MadScribe, every issue is a critical success.
Bunch of savages in this town.
Are you a targeted individual? Have you had a paranormal encounter, or are the victim of an unregulated government experiment and would like to share your story with us? Would you like to send us some fan mail or a hate-filled rant? Do you have an idea for a future episode or wish to send a complaint to HR? Email us at atomicshaman@protonmail.com. Like, share, subscribe and be sure to check the notification bell. Follow the Atomic Shaman on Twitter at Motel and RV Park. Listen to Paranormal Green Text Stories on Atomic Shaman TTS on YouTube. Catch the live streams of Atomic Shaman Sweat Lodge only on Rumble.
All right, we're back. And time for hour 2. So, Luffy, you got some poll data.
That I do. Let me pull up our poll data. So the first poll that we have is which of the hat-wearing entities is your favorite? The Hat Man at 71%. Baba Legba at 28.6%. And Hachisha Kushama at 0%. No one voted for the tall lady.
Yeah, I know we got quite a bit of weebs that watch us, and I'm surprised they did not see the poll because they would have voted for the tall lady.
I would have voted for her as well because I would have loved to just sit on her lap as she goes po 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 in my ear.
So the reason I did this poll is there was a guest recently in the Julian Dory podcast. And the guy made the claim that if you took enough Benadryl, you would hallucinate and see the Hat Man. And he made the unsubstantiated claim that the Hat Man was Papa Legba of the Voodoo religion. So I had to research who Papa Legba was. And this guy's, he's kind of like a guy who works at the crossroads between realms. You know, he's kind of like an intermediary, you know. Mm-hmm. So he's not someone I would say like Baron Samedi who you make bargains with, you know, in the realm of death. But from reading that this guy was intermediary, I was like, well, he doesn't sound like a demonic figure because everybody who talks about the Hat Man reports seeing this demonic entity that's feeding off of their fear. You know, it's like that's a completely different vibe than a guy who's like a keeper of different realms and shit.
Yeah.
He just sounded like a neutral character. Not that I would say that I would advertise.
Summon him.
Yeah, I'm not gonna like go out of my way and say, hey, this guy's all right. We can pray to him or talk to him. No, I'm not endorsing his worship or his use. You know, I have nothing to do with that. You know, just saying that he doesn't sound like what this claim is. What's our next poll?
Our next one is, what alternative circumstances do you believe explain alien abduction? Demon possession had 43% votes. Sleep paralysis had 29%. Government abduction, 14%. And take your meds, schizo, at 14% votes as well.
So I was hearing about how some people believe that this whole thing about alien abductions is a government abduction and they drug you and make you see these entities that are the Greys. I've heard other talk that someone who's remote viewing and very adept at it, when they're remote viewing it, you see their spiritual body. So they can either appear as their spiritual or like a, what you call it, astral projected self, or they can make themselves appear as an orb, or they can make themselves appear as like a reptilian shape-shifting entity or one of these grays. So that's like a whole new thing I saw on a different podcast. And it's like, let me put this out there. This is kind of news. Let's see how people react to it. You know, like what do they believe if this is an alternative theory?
Yeah, like I would definitely say like lean towards the demonic possession, but I can also kind of see government abductions as well for a few cases.
I mean, there were instances where that people talked about these beings having a stench of sulfur, a really bad smell. Some people are saying, well, they don't have any sex organs or waste organs, so it's like their extracorporeal system is in their skin, and that's why they smell so horrible. Another thing was that there was a couple of instances where someone was dealing with aliens and they evoked the name of Jesus Christ and they fled after that. So that's why the whole thing is the whole UFOs and aliens or demons. That's where it's coming from.
Huh.
What's our final poll?
Our final poll. There's talk that the alien greys are humans from the far future. Does this mean UFOs are spacecraft or time machines? I would say if it's true that the greys are from the far future, that would mean it's a time machine. Because, I mean, it just makes sense. I mean, you're traveling through time.
Yeah, they were talking about, like, the short grays and the tall grays. And, like, each different gray, like, they had a different appearance. And one of them was X amount. I forgot what the equation is that they were saying that they were this far from the future. And then the other one was like, these guys are from even further in the future. But it was, like, not anywhere near our time, you know. But it seems like there was, like, a great cataclysm that forced the humans underground for whatever reason. And then they evolved in what we see as the grays because they had to, you know, live in low light conditions and, you know, they had to adapt to living underground or living in the dark. And that's why the eyes are prominent features and they seem like wasted away, you know, like they don't have the muscle mass that they used to.
Like
you know?
they've seen some shit.
Yeah, kind of thing. And that's why I got in this whole thing with the Townsend Brown, the Doc Brown rumor, because they were saying that, well, Steven Spielberg has insider information and he likes to hide it in his videos. So they were saying that Emmett Brown was, you know, based off Townsend Brown, and that in October 15th, 1955 was the date of the Philadelphia experiment. They were trying to say that was like the hint of him going back in time. They were also saying that, was it the present day, was it 1985 or whenever the movie takes place, that where the Libyans killed Doc Brown the first time, that was like, you know, the nod to him dying that year, you know, of old age, you know. So that's how this rumor got started, that this whole Doc Brown thing was tied to Townsend Brown to the Philadelphia experiment. And that's why I was linking, you know, like linking the whole UFOs to the time travel thing. But I don't believe the theory, man. It just,
yeah,
to me it was supposed to be like an experiment in cloaking and going invisible. It had nothing to do with time travel. So I don't know why it's changed all of a sudden, unless there was like a Mandela effect because CERN just got turned off for the first time in 14 or 17 years, however long the thing's been running.
I heard that, and like it sounds like people's lives are getting a whole lot better as well because of that.
Yeah, they were saying that people reporting that they're able to sleep better at night. They were saying that time is slowing down for them, because they're saying this whole time that CERN's been on, that they're saying their days have been drastically shorter, and that they're reporting that time is not flowing normally. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck they're talking about, but I know when you get older, time appears to be speeding up, and regardless of whether CERN is on or off, I barely get any sleep as it is, so it doesn't really matter. As long as I get 5, I'm doing okay. I wish I could get 8, but it's just not happening. You got anything else you want to put out, Luffy?
Nothing on my end. Is there anything that you've got?
I got nothing. We'll probably do another show next month. I don't think we got enough material to cover another show in 2 weeks. But if we do, we'll be back in 2 weeks. If not, you'll see us.
Yeah, it's been a very odd summer. It's been very slow. Pride Month kind of came and went with like nothing new happening, which is a good and a bad thing. Good thing because, hey, those deviants, well, you don't want them. But also bad because, hey, we have nothing to talk about.
Yeah, so I was gonna get into the whole thing where I guess a fourth round of UFO files came out Friday. No one really gave a shit, and they were showing this one video, and I just didn't care about it. And someone said, "Well, here's your UFO," and they were showing like some kind of monkey looking like balloon, and they were like they couldn't identify it, and they're like it matches up with this monkey balloon, so they were like thinking it was some advanced craft or something, and I'm like I feel like we're being pranked, like.
Yeah, for like everything going on, like Steven Spielberg's like movie being like, oh, aliens, and like there's like they're blowing their load like how Disney blew their load with Star Wars and Marvel. Everyone has alien fatigue, just like everyone has Star Wars and superhero fatigue.
Yeah, I'm so sick of cape shit, man. It's like I wouldn't mind like another fantasy movie, like a dark fantasy or something, or Conan, or maybe like Kroll or something like that. But I don't think we're gonna get anything like that. I am interested in this whole talk that Gennady Tartakovsky is gonna try to do a Conan
dude,
animated
he's doing a
series.
shit ton now. Yeah.
It's like he did Primal. I think he can tell Conan, and I don't think he even needs a lot of dialogue. If you can tell the stories of Conan with action, he can do it.
Yep.
I think there's naysayers out there because they're thinking that cartoon will take away from the aesthetic of Conan, but no, I think he can pull it off.
You want it to be a cartoon. With some of the stuff that Conan does and goes on, you want it to be animated. Because you can just do things in animation that you can't do in live action.
Oh, I hope he can do stuff with old gods too. Like do some really cool stuff with that. Other than that, I can't think of anything I'm really excited about. I mean, as far as this UFO shit that they're pushing off, I'm like, well, if people actually gave a shit, I would say it's a distraction, but it's not even distracting anybody because I'm still pissed off that gas is $4.25. And then you got a bunch of arguing whether or not that Charlie Kirk was assassinated with the 30-06 or, a micro-shaped charge explosive inside a microphone that killed him, So that's the big argument right now as far as any kind of conspiracy / political people are fighting about on Twitter right now. As far as gaming news is, there's a lot of layoffs going on. Not because of woke shit's not selling, it's because someone gets hired and they fire all the Americans and hire a bunch of H-1B visa Indians, which is just going to further kill the industry.
Yeah, I mean, Ubisoft and Bungie, and I think even Rockstar has laid some people off.
I think the Xbox is about to, but it's like you're not going to even own your physical copies of the games now because it's like everything's going digital. Same thing with the new PlayStation. They're saying that even if you get a Nintendo Wii game or whatever they call it, I don't even know what they call it.
Well, and on top of that, now it was
it's not even
revealed.
They're saying that even if you get the disc, it's 80% of the game on the disc, so you still have to download 20% of the game after you buy it. It has to be online in order for you to play it. So
the prices are just going up. So the whole oh, we're going to go digital to make it cheaper. Survey says that was a lie.
Yeah, especially they're doing $100 for Grand Theft Auto 6. I'm not buying it, man.
Yeah, and going off of that, did you also see that the Sony and Microsoft? It was just revealed that hey, if you don't log into your account after X amount of months, it's basically 2 to 3 years. If you don't log in or use or make your account online by that time, you'll lose access to all your games.
Well, they delete
your account.
So you don't even own it if you buy it. So how's it even how's it even stealing if you pirate it? If you don't even own what you physically or downloaded or paid for, it doesn't make sense.
If stealing implies that there's a material good to be stolen. If everything is digital and it's a lease, there is technically nothing to physical to steal. So yeah.
I think it also hurts the whole thing where you used to be able to rent games, either through Redbox
or let a friend borrow a game.
Yeah. Now you can even let your friends borrow or trade games. You can't do the Redbox and borrow a game. You can't go to Blockbuster and borrow a game. It's nope, everything's, digitally locked to your account. So I don't know what's going to happen when they completely kill the gaming industry. I don't know if there's going to be anything left, or just indie people are only going to be the only bastions worth of looking into, man.
Dude, I just hope it crashes because we saw a little bit of a renaissance right after the 80s gaming crash with like the 90s and all that. I can only pray that same thing happens with a 2020s gaming crash.
With that, I guess we'll go ahead and play us out since we got nothing else to talk about, because this show isn't really about gaming. It's about weird shit.
Yeah, we kind of got off topic.
With that, we'll appreciate everybody who came and watched and supported the show. And with that, we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Homie, watch out. The feds are plotting now, they knocking like they locked out. Not now, I'm busy. Your door get knocked down, drop trial, showing y'all the proper way to rock out. I know how this go, looking through the crystal. Everybody hates me and it's every day the list grows. Beat around the bush, yeah. I learned to tiptoe and stand against an army, plugging barrels with the pick rows. Look at who they follow, look at who you follow. If you want me, you can find me at the bottom of the bottle, in the corner of the room or on the moon like Apollo. For fuck's sake, the earth is not flat, it's hollow, and there's Nazis in it. Shit, if that's true, you're probably gonna find me in it. Vibing while we fry Hasidics, ashes in the sky's the limit. I'm just rhyming with it. This is my demented mind and y'all just climbed up in it. Every now and then I can get retarded. People nowadays just getting me started. You don't like it, you can beg my pardon. Come and watch the world burn at my party. Every now and then I can get retarded. People nowadays just getting me started. You don't like it, you can beg my pardon. Come and watch the world burn at my party. Coming proper with the grammar, you bet I know who they is. But recognizing patterns nowadays is fucking dangerous. Just ask Trevor Noah, he could tell your heads are rolling. It's bloody paradise like a bunch of dead Samoans. Join me on the balcony, you niggas gotta see this shit. I crossed the line like fucking Trump in North Korea, bitch, yo. LA's on fire, won't somebody get the chief on the wire? Nope. Cause don't nobody care. I fucking love the smell of burning plastic in the air. I give not a fuck. I found the first mosque and shot it up. Rolled down the window in the truck and yo, Muhammad sucks. Ooh, I'm so edgy, I just cut myself. Bitch, I never leave a damn crib if I could fuck myself. Call me all them names, go ahead, it's the basics. I drop these bars and hit the bar up in the spaceship. Every now and then I can get retarded. People nowadays just getting me started. You don't like it, you can beg my pardon. Come and watch the world burn at my party. Every now and then I can get retarded. People nowadays just getting me started. You don't like it, you can beg my pardon. Come and watch the world burn at my party.